dad called me up. I was probably 18 at the time. I was like, hey, come handle this dude. That my whole life. Pops would put me on missions. We were like one of the only white families in our neighborhood. It was predominantly black and Hispanic. We seen our share of troubles, you know, in the neighborhood with the different cultures.
They captured on wiretaps. I was talking about, you know, a case where I wouldn't rat on somebody. I said, rats are like just as bad as child molesters and rapists. I live by that code.
And if you associate it with it, you're the same shit as far as I'm concerned.
Amen. These liberal doctors are saying, well, they had tragedy when they were kids.
I don't give a
Guess
fuck
what
they had. You know,
we've all had tragedy as kids, but that doesn't make me say I want to do the same type of shit to a kid later on down the road.
Right.
Ron, thank you for coming on today.
It's my pleasure.
So tell me, what made you get into the podcast?
Well, I had this buddy. He's since passed, and me and him had always talked about doing a podcast. He was a real sharp guy, a real quick-witted guy, and so we talk shit to each other all the time. And then everybody would say, "You guys should do a podcast. You guys should do a podcast." Well, he wasn't. His name was Jeff, and Jeff would get into things, but he didn't, you know, and was really good at everything he did, but he never, like, he didn't follow through. Like, you know, he was quick to get in and quick to get out. And so one day we were sitting around, and my niece, Savannah, came at me, and she said, "Uncle, would you and her other uncle, which is J-Bone, Matty Boy's brother, would you guys like to do a podcast?" And we were like, yeah, and right when I said it, you know, I knew. I was like, oh, Jeff Rowe's gonna be mad at me, and he died not long after, so we weren't on the greatest of terms, but that's how it started, the podcast thing for me.
And how long you been doing it for?
This January, it's gonna be 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, it's fun.
It is fun.
It's fun.
So you grew up where?
Richmond, California. Yeah, it's central Richmond, California. It's a pretty tough environment.
Yeah,
there.
I was gonna say that it's a tough area.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you grew up tough yourself.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I'm not, you know, the toughest of guys, but you know.
I'm sure growing up in that environment, I'm sure you're around or seen a lot of tough guys.
Definitely. My father was a very tough, hard man. He was a country boy, and alcoholic, good man, but he was what he was, Red, and he was a hard man, and so he made his boys tough. And
yeah, you grew up in a tough household. I grew up in a tough household also. My mother was the mother and the father, if you will. And I'll tell you, my mother hit any harder than any other man I ever knew growing up. I can tell you that right now. And she didn't just use her hands; she used a lot of shit too with it. Brooms, spatulas, belts, you name it. I was getting hit with it.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. I'm just saying I know what it is to grow up in a tough household.
Yeah, the bigger we got, the bigger the weapons got for her.
Oh, yeah. I always try to escape underneath the bed, and then all of a sudden that bed came right up. My mother was like, boom, the bed come right up, and like, fuck.
Yeah.
She got me.
Yeah. Yeah, mom was about the most normal thing about my upbringing. Mom was completely normal. Mom didn't like to drink. She just said she didn't like the way it feels. She used nothing. My mom was a regular mom. My father, like I said, my father was alcoholic, a mean alcoholic. But I think it was pretty much shielded. Like if you looked at our family, you might not think that. I don't know. I lived it, so. But like on the outside looking in, I don't think we seemed that dysfunctional. But I can assure you we were, and that's the way it was.
Well. On my side, because there's similar parallels, my father was an alcoholic also. He died of cirrhosis of the liver. I never really knew my father. But on the flip side of it is, my mother never drank either, just like your mother never drank. So there's very similar parallels, right?
I see that.
And we come from different walks of life, brother.
Right.
You know? But the parallels are the same. But my mother, she was so harsh because in her mind, if she didn't act as the father figure physically, then she figured I'd be even worse than what I ended up being.
Right.
So she actually taught me how to be tough. She taught me to be able to be tough. And you know, when you're getting beat up as a young boy, you know, getting your ass whooped by your mom or even your dad, right? You grow a resistance to pain.
Definitely.
You grow a resistance to pain, brother.
Yeah.
And that helped me throughout my life because I used it in a positive way. That, you know, yeah, you hit me, but it wasn't that hard. But guess what? I'm hitting back. And we'll see who can take it more.
I always thought, like, you know, if I can take it from him, I definitely can take it at school or anywhere else. And that was my father would like if one of the neighbors was acting up, my father would tell me, "Hey, you go over there and handle this," no matter what it was. Like, I remember one time a neighbor had told him, like, "Fuck you" or something to my dad. And my dad called me up. I was probably 18 at the time. I was living wherever I was living, and he's like, "Hey, come handle this dude." Man, I had to come home and handle this dude. I mean, and it was like that my whole life. Pops would put me on missions basically to handle anybody that got in a disagreement. We were like one of the only white families in our neighborhood. It was predominantly black and Hispanic, and so we seen our share of troubles, you know, in the neighborhood with the different cultures, if you will.
So let me ask you about that. Growing up in a neighborhood where you're the minority. How was that?
It was tough, man. Like,
were you getting like people coming at you and you're gonna defend yourself?
All the time. So, like, I'd get in fights pretty frequently, or get jumped, and then me and my brother would jump them back, or, you know, set it up, you know, one-on-one when they were away from their people or whatever, or catch them slipping, you know. But yeah, it was on. It was on constantly. And now those dudes that I did this with, grew up with, man, those dudes see me in the streets to this day, and they're like, it's all love now, you know?
Excuse me.
I remember one time, it was when my mom passed in 2020, and a couple years before that, she was unloading some groceries, and one of the neighborhood guys came by, and he helped my mom in with the groceries. A dude I used to fight with constantly growing up, and I thought that was pretty cool, man. He, you know, even though we had our thing, he helped mom in with the groceries, so that showed, you know, the respect, and I appreciated that.
Excuse me. So for me, the way I see that is that because you stood up to him and he stood up to you, that's where the real respect came from.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, and it was like that with several of the guys in the neighborhood. And so, like I said, I see them in the street, and it's, you know, we take time out to talk to each other and give each other that quick hug, and I hope you're doing well, and how's the family, and so that's the way it was.
Well, that's where the respect comes from.
Right.
And that's
Fighting back.
People don't realize that. That's what street respect is about.
Yeah.
And as you get older, you realize that and you honor that.
For sure.
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
For sure. So you have a lot of tattoos, right?
Yeah. I have a lot of friends that do tattoos.
Yeah.
So that's
because a lot of people say, "Oh, this dude got a lot of tattoos. He must be in a gang, right?"
Yeah.
It's not always that.
No.
It's not always that.
No. I know lots of guys that are tatted up that, you know, are squares, you know, so, you know.
And there you go.
Yeah, like I can name 3 buddies offhand that do tattoos professionally, you know, and so it's always been, I think I got my first tattoo in 3rd grade. My brother made a gun from Radio Shack with a little motor and a pin, and he tatted me when I was 8 years old, 3rd grade.
Yep.
So, and then we just grew up with it. The guys tattooing all around us, the neighborhood.
It was always, excuse me, it was always preached to me by my former boss. Even though I hate to say it, he was the boss, Whitey Bulger, that do not get any tattoos. Because if you ever have to go on the run, and you have to go in hiding, and you have tattoos, they're going to use that against you to mock you. It'd be easier if you don't have any tattoos. It'd be harder for them to track you or find out where you are. I'll put that because they could use that.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So it made sense. So I looked and I was like, yeah, you know, a young guy going, yeah. So I never got a tattoo because of that, ever. But I look back on it and I go, well, isn't my red hair a tattoo? Isn't my blue eyes a tattoo? I mean, really.
I don't know. In Boston, that might not have been. I'm thinking there might be lots of red hair.
If I had to leave Boston, I'm saying, right?
You know, I think it may be the opposite now. Like, I think people stand out more that don't have tattoos. Where I'm from, everybody's tatted. So now when I see somebody with, you know, never been tatted, fresh skin, I kind of admire it. Like, but I think you're the one that stands out now.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So it's funny you say that because years back when I was running cocaine back and forth from Miami to Boston and vice versa, Miami to Boston, I used to dye my hair. I'd go in at a CVS and I'd get this mousse to dye your hair. I'd put the mousse in there because I didn't want the raging red hair in the middle of Miami with all these Cubans and Colombians and everyone else, right? Because now I'm really standing out, right? This is the picture, right? You get it?
Yeah, I get it completely.
Now I'm really standing out. So I would dye my hair and I make sure I wear sunglasses so you couldn't see my blue eyes and all that. Oh yeah, so I tried to blend in, if you will.
I imagine in Miami you'd stick out pretty.
Oh yeah. White boy like me.
Yeah, you gotta keep that skin covered up.
Yeah, exactly.
My daughter's a strawberry blonde, so I know all about it. You know.
Yeah, there you go.
Very fair-skinned. So yeah.
So you've been doing the podcast for 4 years.
Yeah,
you must have had some interesting people on your podcast.
We did, and so have you. From what I've been watching, you know, it's really cool. It's a lot of fun, and I mean, we've had people that have been kidnapped as a child and kept for days and abused, and you know, by the grace of God, let go, and you know, they're okay. I've had women that have done prison time in Mexico for trying to smuggle drugs, and I've had country singers, rappers, comedians. So man, you get to meet a lot of different, you know, people from different walks of life. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Getting back to your guest that you said that was held in captive, you know, by this individual and shit. I just want to touch upon that because that goes against my grain and who I am as an individual.
Definitely.
Now, there's an article from back in the 90s, and I posted it on my Instagram. And it was me losing my temper as a young man. And they captured it on, wiretaps. And I was talking about, you know, a case where I wouldn't rat on somebody. I wouldn't give somebody up. I don't care if this is a guy I could find out about, if he's cheating on his wife or whatever. That's not me. I ain't doing that because I wouldn't want anyone ever to do that to me, right?
Right.
So that was kind of like the situation, and then it escalated. I escalated it because I lost my shit as a young kid. And I said, rats are like just as bad as child molesters and rapists. I said this years ago. I said this when I was a kid. I lived by that code.
Same.
So, and I still live by that code. That code will never leave from me, brother.
And if you associate it with it, you're the same shit as far as I'm concerned.
Amen. If you associate with it, you are condoning that.
Goddamn
and if you're condoning that, you're the fucking same too.
They're the same
End
person.
of story.
Exactly. I feel the same exact way.
So that's it. When I hear stories like that, all I can think about is that poor child, right? That poor child, that poor kid, by the hands of some dirty bastard. Seriously.
Horrible.
And then a lot of times when these people get caught, well, they're just sick people and they need help. Well, guess what? They knew what the fuck they were doing.
You just reminded me of something. I think so. They caught the guy. Eventually, they caught the guy, put him in prison. I don't remember if it was 10, 20 years or whatever. Well, he was what brought him out to California was he was working out here, and then so after he did his fucking time, he moved back to his home state, which I want to say South Carolina. This motherfucker gets caught up and he kills a young woman. And like, this motherfucker should have never seen the light of day after this, after abducting this little girl. And then he goes on the fucking, gets out, goes back to South Carolina, and he ends up killing a young lady.
No. He's okay. He's just he's okay.
Rehabilitated.
He just needs help, right?
Fuck him.
Right?
Yeah,
This is these liberal doctors. These liberal doctors are saying, well, they had tragedy when they were kids.
I don't give a
Guess
fuck what they had.
Guess what? We've all had tragedy. We've all had tragedy as kids. A lot of us have. But that doesn't make me say, I want to do the same type of shit to a kid later on down the road.
Right, you would think you'd want to steer away from that, but this is the way I look at it. Nothing in this world could make me not like women, okay? Nothing. I think it's the same for them. There's nothing that's what does it for them. That's what gets them off. So there's one way to deal with it, And that's the way they should deal with it. Because it's never going to stop. It'd be like saying, Ron, no more women. You can't do that. That's,
I'm gonna confess something. Right here and right now. I never talked about this ever. Ever. When I was in prison, the guards tipped me off. There was a military guy who molested children on the base. And they sent them to prison. They told me immediately. Why do you think they told me immediately?
because they felt the same way about that piece of shit.
Yeah, but why do you think they told me?
Because they knew you'd act on it.
They knew I'd act on it. He didn't make the night, brother.
Good.
They took him out on a fucking stretcher.
Fuck yeah.
And you know what? If there's anything that I'm proud of, is taking care of that piece of shit.
Shit, I'm proud of you too.
And I don't care if anybody says, well, you use violence. For that, I will.
That's the only thing that, like I said, there's one way. Nothing's going to make me stop liking women, and nothing's going to make them stop. There's only one thing that can stop them from doing bad things to children. So fuck them. And I feel the same way about a fucking rat.
I get heated when I hear that shit.
You look heated when you talk about it.
I get heated when I hear that shit, trust me.
So when we had this woman on the podcast that told us her story, needless to say, I mean, there was some tears flowing. You know what I mean? Because I felt for her. And now she's like I speak with her often. She's a fucking lovely person, man. I fucking dig the fuck out of her. So, I mean, and that's the thing about the podcast. It forms relationships. I just had a young rapper on the podcast a couple weeks ago, and the experience with him was great. And man, I see this guy at the shows and stuff, and I love seeing him. And it's just, his energy and the goodness in him. And man, it's that's what I like about podcasting. It's fun.
So, and it is fun. It's great, and you get to see a lot of people and make positive impact with people, right?
Yes.
Because in the end, for me, it's positive impact. I don't care about the rats. The rats, they really mean nothing to me. They're not a part of my platform. They'll never be a part of my platform. The people part of my platform are the people with the integrity. The people who've been knocked down and got back up in life.
I agree.
And change your lives around.
Integrity is a
And
rare
the
thing.
people who might never been knocked down in their lives, but they do the right thing in life by helping others. Those people too.
Yeah.
Because they're in the same class. It's all integrity.
Yeah, integrity comes in many different forms, many races, colors, genders. Everybody should have integrity.
Let me tell you something. I'm glad you brought that up, because when I was in the can, you know, you had your different races and stuff like that, right?
Right.
But I never judged you for your skin color. I never judged you for your religion. I judged you by knowing you walked the walk and you stood tall.
Character.
I never judged any other way. As long as you were strong, solid, and you lived that code and you walked that walk, that's how I judged you.
Hey, I don't care if you're black, white, straight, gay. It doesn't matter to me. Be a decent motherfucker. And then I respect that, you know. We ain't got to, you know, kick it every day or whatever, but man, just be a good motherfucker. And that goes a long way with me. Just have integrity. Be a decent motherfucker, you know. And that's all it is, integrity.
End of the day.
Yeah.
The most important thing.
For sure.
Because, as I always say, integrity is everything in life. We've all made mistakes in life. Nobody's perfect. Nobody, you know, nobody lives in a house of cards, you know what I mean?
Right.
That you know, can't fall down. Nobody. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a billionaire. I don't care if you're a blue-collar worker. And in between. None of us are perfect.
No.
Except my wife.
No, well, yeah, I've seen that.
I got to straighten that out, that's for sure. Except my wife. But the truth is, none of us are perfect in life.
No.
But we make mistakes, and we need to own that, you know.
And that's a you know, so I've been clean and sober. I got clean and sober. My first day was March 13th, 2010. So I've been clean coming up on 16 years here, and I had to learn these things. Like, you know, to be to not cheat in a relationship, and to be and you know, to be honest, and not just be honest outwardly to you, but to myself. And you know, you just had Matty Boy on your podcast, long known, and he's helped me a lot. And I don't even know if he knows that, but he's helped me a lot in that department, you know, of being honest with myself. And he's definitely taught me a lot about loyalty. And you know, I met him in 01, and it's been a ride with him. This guy's a solid guy, and but he's taught me a lot, and so has everybody else along the way, you know, taught me these things, because I was a mess. I was out there ripping, running, Red, I probably would have told a lie when the truth would have been perfectly acceptable. You know, I was that guy, but it's a better life now, man, you know.
Well, I have to ask you this. Basically, this is the way I see it. The addiction that you had, to break through that, you could hear all those voices on the side saying, "Hey, Ron, clean yourself out. You're a better man than that, Ron. Yeah, Ron." You can keep listening, but nobody can do it but you. You have to be the one to step up and do that. And I want to use a quote that I like to use every once in a while. And Whitey Bulger actually said this quote to me, even though he played the game both sides. He played it well. When everybody was playing checkers, he was playing chess. But he made sense. But he didn't live up to it. He made sense, but he did not live up to it. Because he was a rat for 40 years.
Right.
And nobody knew it. There were Monday day quarterbacks out there saying, "Oh, I knew it was a rat." Yeah. Well, why didn't you say something then? Yeah. You would have been in the grave too.
Right.
Right? But the quote goes, and he sent this quote to me through a messenger. And he said, just remember, it takes a strong person to reach inside themselves and say, I'm here because of me. I'm here because of me, because nobody said I had to be a part of the mob. Nobody said I had to break the law. You have to do this. Otherwise, this is what's going to happen to you. Nobody told me that. I made a choice. I might have been influenced as a young man. That's a different story. That's a whole different subject. But I made a choice even as a young man. And I say, even for someone who has an addiction, they made a choice too, right? They made a choice to do that. They made a choice to try that, right?
Definitely.
Now they have to make another choice if they want to get out of that. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
And it's only that person that can make that decision. You can keep hearing those voices and those friends on the side of you saying, you need help, brother, you need help. No, brother, you're better than this, or you're better than... But it's this person inside you needs to reach inside themselves and pull that out and say, I'm here because of me and I need to change.
You know, it was funny. It's like back then I didn't even know I was a drug addict. I thought I was partying still, but it wasn't partying no more.
It was
like
just
I
a way of life.
Shit. Yeah. And I actually thought I was going fucking crazy. Like, and my mind kept telling me, like, you're going to be a Berkeley fucking weirdo. You're going to be a Berkeley weirdo. But still, I had no idea what was causing it. And one day I packed up my car and I ended up in Portland, Oregon, of all fucking places. And I didn't know what to do, man. And I called my mom and I was crying like a little girl. And my mom said, son, have you ever thought about going to a meeting? And the light bulb really went off. You know, it's like my mom made me recognize this, and I was like, maybe this is it. Maybe it's the drugs and the alcohol that are making me feel crazy. Man, I hit my first meeting, and that was March 13, 2020, and I've been clean since.
Well, sometimes the Lord has his way, right?
Hey, he doesn't make mistakes.
And it's up to you, because he's always there for you, right?
And I talked to
I
him
know
a
you're a
lot back
God-fearing
then.
man.
Yes,
I know
sir.
you are.
Yes, sir.
So that said, he's always there waiting. The opportunity is there for you with him. It's just the decision has to be on you to make that and see that light.
And trust me, back then I was talking to him a lot. You know, help me, help me, help me. You know.
Well, guess what? It came true for you, right?
Man, he did it, and so I can't turn my back. You know what I mean? Like I know that he's real. I may go about it differently than people, but trust and believe that I know that there's a God for sure.
Amen.
Amen.
So you podcast now.
Yeah.
Are you on weekly?
Yeah, we drop an episode every Friday.
Every Friday.
Yeah. And
Got
now
it.
we're starting to drop an episode weekly with the road sipping thing, where we go to the historical bars and.
Oh,
stuff.
nice.
So yeah, we're just. And
that's fun.
That was a
doing
lot
the
of
road.
fun. Oh, and you're going to these old bars that are, I think the last one we went to was like established in 1853. So what's that make it? 170 years old or some shit like that. It was amazing. It was like cowboy days type shit.
Wow.
It was great.
Oh yeah, I love historical stuff like that.
So do I.
That's amazing.
So I've been to Boston, and I had a blast in Boston, going to all the old graveyards, the Freedom Trail.
Yep.
And it was amazing.
Wow, that's where everything started, right, for the
Yeah.
country?
Oh, it was. I had a blast walking
Boston
through
to
there.
Philly,
It's
the
beautiful.
sister city.
I haven't been to Philly,
Yep.
but I've been to Boston. Then we went up into New Hampshire and Maine.
All due respect to my Philly friends, right? Because I love some of those guys down there. But there's no place like Boston, man, when it comes to history.
Oh, it was.
Oh my God!
It was amazing.
The history of Boston. We got fortresses in the Boston Harbor. And fortresses here. They were all set up in the Boston Harbor, where the British would come in with their ships, and the cannons were just firing out from them big fortresses.
Yeah. And
Especially in my hometown of Southie, we have one of the biggest fortresses there, Fort Independence.
So I wanted to go to Southie just to see, but we never made it over there. But
Oh man, you got to come.
we were all in Charlestown and stuff.
I'm inviting you guys now. We'll go down there. Matter of fact, I get stories for that place too, but that's besides the point. When you guys come, we could do some content on that.
I'm in. I'm in. I love the history, and I've always wanted to see. In fact, I want to go to that one bar in Southie that I seen. It was I believe it was in that movie, The Town. We just wanted to go there just because we dig that movie. And
L Street.
What was
L
it?
Street Tavern.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
I want to go there.
It's not the same no more.
Really?
It's different. Yeah. It's not quite the same, but they still have it there. Absolutely, brother.
Oh, I'd love to check that out.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones too. That in fact we were in.
Oh, they've changed a lot. Let me tell you, it has changed a lot.
And to me, it seemed like they had a sign outside every bar. It was the oldest bar in Massachusetts, oldest bar, every fucking bar. It was the oldest one. But we were at this one tavern, I believe it was in Charleston, and they said Benjamin Franklin and those guys would gather there and, network or whatever the fuck. And I thought that was pretty cool. Low ceilings, kind of dark and nice wood. And
I'll be honest with you. I just, because of the history of Boston and all that, and it's a quaint city. It's a very clean city for an urban city. And the safety factor it is for most people who want to walk, do the trails and all that. You're fine.
Oh.
You're fine. You're safe there.
Yeah.
Not like being in DTLA, man. Walking down the street here at night, forget about it. You gotta have something on you.
Fucking step on a syringe or something.
It's filthy down, filthy in DTLA.
Same thing with San Francisco, man. There's human feces on the fucking ground. It's just
they have it
shithole.
here. My wife stepped into that human feces the other day.
Fucking
then
disgusting.
the guy was completely out of his mind, no shirt on, talking to himself, yelling and screaming, and pulling his pants down, showing his wanker. My wife, I didn't see it because I just kept him under, the vision over here, and I didn't want to, give him any acknowledgement. Of course, my wife, she ended up kind of looking because she, was nervous and, about it. And she's pulling his wanker out. I mean, this is the shit that they have in DTLA.
Yeah, for sure.
What are you going to do? Am I going to beat up a guy who's completely out of his mind? No.
Yeah, well,
you just got to keep walking, brother.
Yeah, I'm glad
I'm
you
giving
did.
him a pass because I know he's not mentally there.
Oh, fuck no.
But I mean, it'd be a different story if he got physical. Then that would have been a whole different monster. I can tell you that right now.
For sure.
But so, tell us the names of your podcast. Let the audience know.
It's Burbank and Garrettson. It's comedy based, but we touch on a lot of different things. But yeah, Burbank and Garrettson. I'm from the street of Burbank in Richmond, California, and my co-host J Bone is from Garrettson Street in Rodeo, California. And I was really honored, man, when I brought the hoodie in and you put it on immediately, man. I was very honored.
Bro, that's what we do.
Yeah,
that's how we solid guys ride with solid guys.
Man,
that's it.
Fuck yeah, I appreciate that.
And you have a new one coming out. It started.
Yeah, Road Sippin'.
Road Sippin'.
Yeah, it's we go to historical bars and just try the local drink.
And you can see these both podcasts
on all platforms.
All platforms.
Yes. Yeah.
So before we finish, because I want to just thank you for coming on. You've been through some tough times, obviously.
Yes, sir.
And I love asking this question to every guest that I have because it's important. It's important to maybe give some schooling to people who might be in hardship or might not be, but might keep them from going to hardship, right? Situations. What's the best advice that you could give people in life?
Do what you say you're going to do. Always. Be a man. If you say you're going to do it, fucking do it. To me, it's that simple.
Got it. Ron, thank you for coming on.
And I hope to make it to your wall.
Oh, no, you're already on the wall, brother. You're already on the wall, brother.
Fuck yeah, I appreciate you.
You're on the wall.
Fuck
you
yeah.
are on the wall because you went through hardship.
Yes, sir.
You fought through that hardship. And you come out on the better side.
I think so.
All right, brother.
Pleasure.
Thank you for coming on,
No,
Ron.
man, thank you.
Good luck with the podcast. Everybody watch these podcasts. I'm sure you're going to love them.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, brother.
Right on.
Thank you.
Right on.
Awesome.